a band with a legacy and a lasting influential impact on the musical landscape. I was well aware of Tool before I heard their music, and honestly, I was a bit intimidated by their catalog, knowing just how immense their albums were and just how much they influenced everything else that I probably very much enjoyed. I was worried that when I got into them, I maybe wouldn't like it, or maybe I would spout my mouth off with some really nonsensical opinions and make a fool out of myself. So I stepped back, I took some time. Thankfully, they released a new album relatively recently, back in 2019, and I dove into the catalog finally and realized that there was a reason for their legacy and the whole hubbub around the band that I had been ignoring intentionally for simply the reason I thought that they were too big to talk about and maybe too grandiose, or maybe just a rabbit hole I'd get stuck into for too long. Either way, I've been through the ringer now. I've processed it all. I've digested their albums as best I can up to this point, and I want to talk today about how to introduce someone else to this amazing alternative metal group. These supremely talented artists have combined to create this distinct, overarching atmosphere that is uniquely Tool's, and have evolved that sound over the years, leaving behind clever comparisons and curious little waypoints I've noticed along my listening route that I'm going to point out to you and hopefully help you also digest this extremely dense and rich catalog. For one, now that they've got music released over a 25-year period, there is the obvious arc you can follow of the sophistication of both the recording and the performances of this fine foursome. I found personally, being around 27 at the time I discovered the band, jumping into 10,000 Days at the time really added to that particular album's impact, it being its Saturn return theme and everything. I think that if you find the album that sort of correlates with your age and you can understand maybe the feelings the band were going through during a similar time in their lives, it's a super interesting starting point. My apologies for anyone in their 30s. It's certainly a dry spell for these guys, but you get the idea. Opiate and Undertow for teens, Anima and Lateralis for early 20s, 10,000 Days later 20s, and you old farts can spin some fear inoculum. Another fun comparative introduction is to do the albums as drugs based on their vibes and their content. So Opiate is alcohol, Undertow is cocaine, Anima is ketamine, Lateralis is LSD, 10,000 Days is ayahuasca or mushrooms, or maybe just pot, and Fear Inoculum is the opiate. Sonic stimulants, man. Try them out. Pick your poison. They've generally smoothed out their levels of intensity as their discography has progressed from raw to refined, depending on that level of friction, depending on what kind of experience you're looking for. Reach out, open your mind, give this band an honest listen, and enjoy a timeless math rock record. Really, ultimately, unless you can see them live, there's no bad place to start with this band. If for some reason you're already a Tool fan and haven't tried out Maynard's other bands, I've got some quick picks for you, starting out with Opiate fans. Go for 13th Step and V is for Vagina. Undertow and Anima fans, go to Mel de Noms and V. Lateralis people, I think Back to 13th Step with you and Conditions of My Parole for the Puscifer pick. And 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum people, I think I can lump you together and send you on to the newest stuff. Go and Eat the Elephant and Existential Reckoning. And maybe the 10,000 Days folks will particularly enjoy those emotive originals. Try them out! There's not a ton of bands that I'm aware of that scratch this exact itch. I'd love to hear some recommendations down in the comments, but I've compiled a short little list here of a few that I think you might enjoy if you're a fan of this. Starting out with ISIS. and Richelieu, and Carnival, Wheel, Dream Theater. Gotta shout out the Mars Volta. Let's go System of a Down. Let's go Rage Against the Machine. Maybe some Deftones. Porcupine Tree. I guess I ought to mention some mandatory prog legends like King Crimson, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Rush. Yes, I'm sure I'm missing some there, but please add to it down in the comments. This band is amazing. More stuff like it would be amazing. And so keep on rocking. Hopefully, I helped you introduce you to something here. I don't know. Appreciate you stopping by. Like it. Check out the Puscifer Perfect Circle and more Tool all over the place. Maynard Mayhem in full swing. Let's keep it going, guys. I'll see you on the next one.